with Tennessee. We'll ask Coach Barnes for some opening thoughts on the game. Then we'll take questions just for Armani and Derek, and then we'll come back to Coach. Would you begin, Coach Barnes?
First of all, I can't tell you how I'm proud of our seniors. They've been through a lot the last 3 years with the 3 different coaching changes, and for them to really buy into what we asked them to do this year. And we've had to deal with obviously losing a key player to our team and some injuries along the way, but I can't say enough of what I feel for these guys right now, because they've given us everything they could possibly give us. And we knew, and as time goes on, we're a team that I do think these guys has played really, really hard all year. But we get in games against certain teams, we've got to be on. We don't have a very big margin of errors. We got to hope the officials are on and they have a great day. And if any of those 2 things aren't falling in place, we struggle at times. But a big swing in the game, we fouled a 3-point shooter and then come down and miss 2 free throws, and that was really a 5-point swing right there. But and we turned it over a couple of times at the end where we still had some chances, but we just were a little frazzled and trying to play really out of character a little bit.
All right, we'll take your questions for Armani or Derek. If you have a question, raise your hand for either, and we'll get a floor mic to you. Hands up. Hands up, questions for either player? Okay, let's start on the middle aisle.
Does it get to be a factor of running out of gas at this point with 3 games in 3 days? Was legs a factor in the first half or second half?
The question is for
either player.
Armani.
I mean, I don't necessarily think it was that. I just think it was, like Coach said, we had a lot of crucial turnovers tonight. A couple of times where we didn't execute on offense. Thought we was kind of lackadaisical on defense as well.
Did you want the same for Derek? Okay.
Yeah, I said the same thing. We didn't execute as well as that we thought we should, especially on defense and offense. And then we didn't win that battle inside. So yeah, I agree with what Armani said.
Hands up, other questions for either of the players? Did you raise your hand? Last call. All right, fellas, we'll excuse you. You can return to the locker room.
We have a question.
Oh, you have one? I'm sorry. Hold on. Who was the question for?
For the players, for either player. Can you talk about what you learned this year playing under Coach Barnes, just how much, in spite of all of it, that what you gained from him and his experience?
Good. Armani, you want to take that first?
I mean, I think what I learned from this coaching staff, they just showed us how much effort we're supposed to put into it each and every day. I know as an individual, I really think they pushed me a lot this year to really be in the gym during the off season as well as during the season. I think they taught me a lot, and especially Coach Barnes, he gave me a lot of confidence this year just to come out, play as hard as I can each and every game.
Same for Derek.
IQ of the game. Coach Barnes always says mental always beats the strong. You have to play this game, and you got to be smart of it if you want to make it to the next level. And he taught us basically how to be a pro and just the work ethic you need to be a pro. And, I can't thank this coaching staff enough.
Okay, thank you. You can return to the locker room now. And we'll continue on with questions for Coach Barnes. Raise your hand, and we'll get a floor mic to you. We'll start right in the front.
Coach, on your left over here, when you see the box score, you see Dietrich and Robert 19 each. Do you wonder a little bit how things might have been different this year if you had consistently gotten that from them?
Yeah, and again, Rob, you've seen us play. That's been the word, consistency. And again, but I think we do have a foundation in place moving forward and that we can build on. And I've said before, I've always thought that Robert Hubb should be our leading scorer this year from the very beginning, but he missed a lot of time in practice and he's injuries. But going forward, he's got something to build on. Dietrich has gotten better. He really has. He still is learning how to play. He still gets himself in some situations, but you got to love his desire and his competitiveness. But yeah, and if you add KP, these guys really have been a fun team to coach, and I'm really proud of them coming here because, as you guys know, we struggled coming in here. I think it shows great character the way they came in and played great the first night and then yesterday. And we, believe it or not, today was the first day I thought that not everyone, but the younger guys were nervous. And because I guess this time of year, the more you win, the more you want to win, and you start putting a little bit more pressure on yourself. And we didn't get off to a great start, but they fought like they have all year, and but we just didn't have enough. And you know, we were, again, we don't have a big margin of error, and I don't think we got to the bonus until under 4 minutes, and they were there early, and you know, we played zone the entire second half for the most part, and but again, I'm just proud that these guys have stayed with it, and it's not easy when you've lost 19 games, and but they've had there's some highlights.
Question on the left.
Rick, you kind of just touched on it, but what is the way that this team has played this week? Maybe has that changed maybe the tenor of the season at all in your mind?
I'm not sure. Do what?
Has the way this team has played this week, has it maybe changed how the tone or the tenor of the season at all? Just how, you know, the effort and how the team played?
Well, yeah, and I think that as much as anything, you know, it's hard at the end of the year to ask a guy like Armani Moore to just try to lock in. And again, I mean, we know he's been better when he's played at the step out 4 position. And you know, we were trying to get Shambari there, but he has really struggled for the last 4 games, really, where he hasn't. One time he was averaging, I think, over a 4-game period, like 16 points, 5 rebounds, and then he just has lost his confidence a little bit. But the fact that the way we were struggling in the last 2 weeks, but you know, the schedule, you look at our last 2 weeks, we were playing against teams minus a key figure on our team, and Robert missed, I think, 2 of those games, and teams that were playing for an NCAA or playing for postseason. And we were just trying to keep our guys, challenging them with, hey, we just got to stay in it, and who knows what might happen. And for them to come here and with the attitude, I mean, getting ready a couple days in Knoxville before we got here, I think it speaks a lot about their character, and the fact that we've told them they're going to look back one day, these seniors, and even though they look at this record, it's not something that we wanted, but they'll look back and know that they were a part of really trying to build what we're going to do going forward.
Question on the left.
Rick, a couple weeks from now when the emotion wears off, what's going to be the biggest thing that sticks out from the time you took over this roster in the spring all the way until now?
Well, I think a number of things. One, you know, these guys, 3 coaches in 3 years, that's not easy for anybody, and the things that we've asked them to do, and Derek talked about it, the time that we put in with them, and we've gotten to know them not just as students, but the fact that they're great kids. But I'll tell you another major thing that will be our fans. I mean, for them to support us the way they did this year and get excited, and I think that it just goes to show that the University of Tennessee fan base, they love effort. They love a group of guys that are going to lay it out there every night. And as a coaching staff, you always are picking at your team and knowing it can be better and playing the what-if game. But the fact is, our fans were I can't tell you how many games we sat there, and Rob Lanier said to me, Coach, we have great fans. We have great fans, but going forward, I mean, there are some things that we can build on. We're excited about our incoming class, and you look at the minutes that these young guys got, probably more than we thought, but because of injuries and things, we'll have a good off season, and we'll be back and want to do more. We want to come here. We want to win this tournament, and we want to obviously get to the NCAA tournament, and that's something that you don't ever take any of that for granted. And but you got to work to get there, and we're gonna work hard to make that happen.
Question down front.
Coach, the sequence where Robert gets called for the offensive foul, Blakeney gets fouled shooting the 3 on the other end and makes all 3. How big was just that swing right there?
Well, I thought that was a big swing. I think Simmons, they gave him when we charged. I thought that was a big call, and it's a fine line. And so that's what I said. It's not only does your team have to be on top of their games, officials have to be on top of their games too, but they're game changers. That was a huge sequence right there. It was a really big one, you know. You know, and again, the 3 and you know, Robert's 2 missed free throws were big at that time. But it's just really you talk about it. It's a 3-possession game, and I could pick a couple of them, but. Again, I don't think we got to the bonus until, the last minute maybe or something. It was late before we got there, and they were in early. So and we played zone a lot, you know, trying to protect our guys in foul trouble. But we did want to drive the ball a little bit more. And try to create contact. And you know, our team, we can't throw the ball inside. We don't have that kind of presence. We have to rely on the freedom of movement, you know, cutting, and hope that we get calls when guys are cutting. We got to rely on driving the ball, getting the hand checks and those type things. And if we don't get that, we're not, you know, we're going to struggle if we don't get to the free throw line. And we only, we got there, we were 20 for 26, but we missed a couple of them that, again, Robert's two was big ones.
We have time for one more question. Anyone? All right, thank you very much.
All right, thank you all.